Congratulations. Let's start off with that first.
Thank you.
16 videos strong and still going.
I can't believe it's been that many.
Been a lot of videos. You are now officially a video expert.
Kind of, a little bit. I don't know about an expert.
And with that title, what do you think the elements are needed to make a video great?
I think the main thing about a video as an artist is to really help people to connect with the song, to bring it to life. I think a video sometimes, even if you're like, like kind of halfway on the song, if you like the video, like you'll love the song more, and that's what a video is supposed to do. And at the same time, you have to let your personality and who you are come out in the videos. That to me is the most important thing. Let people know who you are and what you're about. And I've always felt in my videos that I've been able to always stick to that. You know, because after you do like, you're up to 14 and 15, you're like, okay, what are we gonna do next? And you start with the song, and you start with something that's gonna make that real and live to people. And then after that, then you go, okay, and now what am I about? Who am I right now? And then I get into the styling and the hair and the makeup and the setting of it, depending on where I am in my life at that moment.
So it's all that thought process put into it, because I thought a lot of times artists just go to the hottest director at the time, whoever it may be, and say, you know what, I want a video just like the one you made for so-and-so. So it's not that at all.
Well, not for me. I think, you know, you can do that. And I always do think, you know, who's gonna be the best director to execute these ideas and who I am at this time, you know what I mean? And I think that's more important. I think a lot of artists maybe get caught up in like, who's the hottest director right now, who's this or who's that, who did the last video I loved, and that's okay. But I don't think that you still have to have your own point of view. You still have to have an idea about who you are. You can't let somebody tell you, oh, I think this is who you are, this is how you'll be really fly. That can never really work for somebody, I don't think. And I think you have to have your own ideas.
Videos are so important now when it comes to the music industry and getting your project off the ground. And If You Have My Love, that was your first video. So this is the first time the world is going to see me.
Right.
What were your biggest concerns?
I just remember thinking, God, when I look back years from now, this will always have been, this will be my first video. This will define like who I am, the success of this. I knew it was important. You just wanted it to be just the right thing. And I just remember going back and forth, and at that time, like, the internet was like a big deal. You know what I mean? It was just kind of coming into like where it was the most important thing in the world, and it was gonna take over. We just thought it would be a good idea to put that element into the video where somebody could just log on and see you in your house, like a voyeuristic type of thing. And I thought it was a really genius video and really beautiful and sleek and modern looking for that time. And Paul Hunter did an incredible job. His whole thing of like the way he incorporated everything and that little effect, it just allowed me to perform and show people who I was.
Were you worried about what people thought of girls would go, she's not pretty, or, you know, guys would think, you know, wow, she's real pretty, look what she has on. I mean, do you worry about those little minute details as well?
For me, I wanted to really be myself. Like, this would be something I would wear in real life. I loved loose, luxurious fashion, like sweaters and baggy pants, and I think that's very important. I think people can feel that from you. If you're totally overstyled, if somebody's really overstyled and trying and has the hat on and the this and the that and the glasses and all the jewelry, and you look really like, who are you?
Yeah, look contrived.
Very contrived and very fake. And I'm very proud of this video because it really was a depiction of the time of who I was. I wasn't, you know, trying to be over anything or really sing in your face or anything like that, or be tough or cool or anything. I was just being me. It's like an old Italian movie or something. And I love this song. It's a duet that I did with Mark Anthony.
How did you get him to do it? Did you guys know each other prior to the video?
No, what happened was I was working on my first album in the studio, and he was working next door, and he heard I was there. So he came by and asked me to be in one of his Spanish videos. It was like his third single, and he was like, I need something, and you just have to be in this video. And I was like, I'll do it if you'll do a duet with me on this album. And he was like, okay.
Okay.
And so he literally left the studio and called 15 minutes later back to the studio. He's like, I know what song. And it was an old Italian song called Non Amarmi, which means no me amas in Spanish. And we sent it to a Spanish translator. They rewrote it and we recorded it. The minute I heard the finished mix of the song, the video came right into my head, and I was like, this is what it has to be. Because of the words of the song is basically about, don't love me just for this reason or for that reason. Just love me because you love me, not for all the wrong reasons. So I just came up with the idea of this video. A guy who has sent a girl away because he's sick and he doesn't want her to see him in his last days. So he sent her away because he loves her. He wants to spare her that. And didn't tell her that's why. And then she finds out and comes back and wants to be there and take care of him until he dies. Just like what real love is. No matter what, you're there for each other. We're so alike. We have the same exact background. You know what I mean? There's nothing really different about it. Ate the same food, listened to the same music, parents did the same thing. You know what I mean? Just the same, ran the same streets.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
One of the great things about being around Mark is that we're always joking around and laughing. And he's just, that's how he is. Just a real funny guy, very open. That's how he is.
Well, I know you don't have any children, right?
No.
But these videos are like your babies.
They're a little bit like my baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this question might be kind of hard because you're going to have to play favoritism. Which one is your favorite so far?
Oh, I can't even remember all of them. I think my most favorite ever, and maybe because it was in the beginning, Waiting for Tonight, the remix video.
Waiting for Tonight.
Waiting for Tonight. I'm in a photo shoot and I thought to myself, who is that? That is so hot. And then my voice came on. My manager at the time was like, yeah, that's yours. I was like, oh my God. We have to do a video to that,
right?
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So we went back and just shot one more day, and it was basically me dancing all day. And we intercut it with the original footage that we had. It would feel that song, and I just think it was a very special video for that reason.
You multifaceted.
I love editing. To me, everything, a movie, video, whatever, is made in an editing room. That's where it comes to life. You don't know how to piece it together to evoke some type of emotion or feeling, you're dead. Waiting for tonight. We do it in English, and then they play back to Spanish, and then I do it right then in Spanish. So you got a lot of the same feeling for each shot.
It's the last shot.
The original version had the theme of the new millennium coming into play.
That was a video where I went to the director and I was like, I don't have a specific kind of concept for this video, but it's a dance song. I think it should be up and a lot. And he came up with the idea. There's so much hype when the millennium was coming. It was like
scared.
everybody was waiting for that night. So it was like Waiting for Tonight was the perfect song for that type of
Feeling So Good, featuring the late, great Big Pun and Fat Joe.
They made it look like Studio 54. Here we go.
How did it come about that you collaborated on this video?
The way we got together is basically I was like, had this record. Puffy had produced it, or did he?
One of those.
At that time, he was Puffy.
Okay.
Had produced it. Puff actually was like, you know, we should get on this. Is Fat Joe and Big Pun. We asked Pun to be on it, and Joe was like, I want to be on it too. And we were like, okay. So it was great. We got both of them for the price of one. It became like that real Bronx video, and then I was like, well, we have to go back to the neighborhood and shoot it. So we went back to the neighborhood where I grew up. The album was called On the 6th.
On the 6th.
And there we go. We're running on the 6th right there.
That's the 6th train right there in the Bronx.
It is.
And if I'm not mistaken, the woman that played your mother in the video looks a lot like your mother.
It is my mom.
That is your mother.
It is my
okay.
mom. In the first few videos, you can't really believe you're doing videos, so you put everybody you know in the videos. You know what I mean? Because you're really not sure if you're gonna do another one.
Yeah. You want to put everybody on before it runs out, right?
Absolutely. Friends of mine were in this video. My mom was in this video. Whoever was around got in the video. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, I'm looking at the dance scene. You take the dance scenes very seriously. Those are always a vital part of your videos. Do you partake in casting the dancers?
I usually get a choreographer who I know their work very well or have worked with before, respect, and then they'll tell me these are the good kids that are out there right now. And I always go with the talent. I'm not so much about look. I like talent. I like talented dancers because I started off dancing. So that's all I ever tell them, and then I just let them cast it.
How often do you rehearse, like, before the actual video shoot?
It depends. If it's more of a dance video where it's just all dance, you could rehearse up to 2 weeks before, 3 weeks. If it's just like a small dance break, maybe a week before the video. It just depends. I would say 2 weeks is a good little estimate. I just wish that you could have been here instead of a bracelet, okay? Because the last thing I need is another bracelet.
For the record, everybody thought this video was made because at the time you were dating Puff.
Yes.
Yeah, and everybody thought this video was directed towards him to say, look, man, you correct me if I'm wrong. We know you're this hip-hop mogul. You got the clothes, you got everything, all the money in the world, but my love doesn't cost a thing. You know?
It's definitely a sentiment of what I was feeling at that time. I always feel like when you go with what's going on with you, things you really relate to and connect to, it's most likely there's somebody else out there who's gonna relate to it as well. And at that time, I really felt like and I still do to this day, that it isn't about material things. That stuff is all fun and fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is love and family. And at that time, it was just really almost epiphanizing to me, you know what I mean? And it was funny because I was dating Puffy at the time, and he was very generous with gifts and stuff like that, and people knew it, so they thought it was directed right at him. But it was more about me. That's why the concept of this video was to come out of this huge mansion with all this jewelry, with the fly bag and the fly car, and then little by little,
Just throw it all away.
Throw it, strip away, and get down. And then the happiest that this girl is, or I am by the end of the video, is when I'm there with nothing on, just at the beach, in nature, away from all of the kind of like material things. Just leave the car on the side of the road, take off the fur. That was the idea of it. It's like you don't need all those things to be happy. And when people realize that, it's a freeing thing.
Now, is this the video where you take off your top?
Yeah, and that's a funny thing too, because in this video, nobody knew I was gonna do that. I told Paul, like, by the end, you know, we'll be at the beach in a little shirt, in my shirt and whatever, you know, and taking off my pants and just like throw myself in the water. But I didn't tell him when the camera followed me into the water. I went into the water. The camera, when I followed me in there, he's up to here in his clothes in the water. And at the last minute, I always had it in my head that the last paring down would be for me to kind of take off my shirt and throw it at the camera. And I only did it one time. I never did it again. He was like, do it again, do it again. I was like, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
You can use it or you can't use it. But it was an idea that I had. It wasn't something that just happened. There it is.
There it is. You're such a tease. You're such a tease.
It worked.
It worked, yeah.
It worked, it worked. It
Leave
was
them hanging.
It worked in the theme of what it was.
And this was actually the first song off the new album, too, right?
First song off of the J-Lo album.
You always seem to make a statement in those first singles. You know.
Well,
Jenny
you got to,
from the
because you have
block,
like a rejuvenated energy. It's like you've been waiting the whole time. You've been doing this whole album, working on it for months and months and months. And now you're about to come with your best and brightest right off the top and really set the tone for the rest of the record.
You could use videos to kind of reinvent your image.
I don't think of it as reinventing so much, like how can I be different or how can I be this? I really just say, this is who I am at this moment in time. And that's the kind of the reinvention, is because no matter what, you always grow as a person. You always change. You don't have to go, well, this worked last time, this is what I should do. Or this is what people are doing right now, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Right? None of that. It's just like, who am I right now? And what is my music saying? Because that's usually what happens with music, is that a lot of you comes out in the wash.
You do a big variety of videos. Your videos never look the same. You know, a lot of times artists, they do a string of videos, and you look at the first one, and they may do 10 videos, and it look like one long video.
Right.
You know, and I know you did a video called Play. Extremely futuristic. Who came up with the concept for this video?
Actually, again, this was Francis Lawrence, who was like, I have a great idea about a club on a plane jet thing, and he just showed me a couple of different pictures. And this again was a type of song where it wasn't like, oh, we have to do this and I have a great idea for the video, you know. It was more like I was open to it. When I'm open to things, for some reason I go to Francis, because he'll always come with an interesting, different concept. He's one of those very talented directors. He has that type of vision. I mean, look at this stuff. It's just so, you haven't seen anything like it since, and you didn't see anything like it before. I mean, there's really some great visual stuff in here, and he still at the same time let me be the center of it. This stuff looks crazy to me. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was shot on green screen. It's just me on this little thing going around in a circle with a green screen behind me. So you're like, what is this gonna look like? This was all green screen.
And those are computer-generated effects. And
yeah, it's like,
images.
that's always the play button there. Like, you could press play.
Cause it turns me on.
J-Lo, who came up with that concept? Because that's when you guys start really pushing the J-Lo. It was cute.
This was the J-Lo moment in
right?
time.
Yeah.
The J-Lo thing is basically a nickname. Jennifer Lowe, Jenny Lowe, have been in a couple of rap songs, actually. I Want a Girl Who's Gonna Ride With Me, like Jennifer Lowe rides with Puff. You know what I mean? It was like different things like that had come out. Heavy D had been calling me Jenny Lowe for a while. And then I realized, like, when I went to different places, like MTV, over TRL, or went to Europe, and that people would have little things like Jennifer Lowe, Jenny Lowe, J Lowe. And so when I went to name this album, I was like, I think this is who they've kind of endeared to, you know, as the musical person that I am. And so I just said, well, this is J Lo. This is your J-Lo. This is it. I mean, it was just a really kind of a like thing that the fans came up with.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew that they were responsible for naming you J-Lo.
It's true, and that's
great.
why I decided to do it.
Have you ever started a video with one concept, and when it was done, you was like, this just doesn't work. We have to do this again. This is not.
That hasn't happened to me yet.
Okay.
That hasn't, and I'm glad about that. I've always been very kind of pleased and been lucky enough to work with directors who've been able to execute exactly what they tell me they're gonna do. So there's never been a time where I was like, oh my God, this sucks. This is horrible.
Okay.
Throw it to the garbage.
Yeah, right?
I don't even know if people would let you do that. You know what I mean? I haven't even ever tried it. If the record company would be like, okay, throw it away. We'll start again. I don't think that really happens that often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you raise enough fuss, I'm sure it can happen. It's your art, you know.
I guess. I'm gonna try.
If it ever happens,
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah,
Just
try it. Let
fun.
me know when it goes down. I want to be there. I want to see how you put that down. Now, there you are riding, looking like CC Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a Harley?
Yeah.
That is a Harley.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, were you nervous the whole time on that? I mean,
Nah.
not at all.
Not at all.
Do you really ride bikes?
I ride on the back of bikes.
You ride on the back
No,
of bikes?
the way we did this is like a double did the motorcycle stuff, and then that type of stuff is a tow rig, what they call a tow rig.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of takes away some of the magic of the video, but which maybe I shouldn't be saying right now.
This is what this is for. Let people know how these things are done.
Yeah,
Right?
basically I had done some shots for the single sleeve, and we did them by a motorcycle with the poncho and the whole thing, and they just came out so great that I was like, this should be the concept for the video. And I gave it to Dave Myers. I sent him the pictures, and then he came up with this idea of just going through this small town and being this girl who's just like going through.
You know, you have so much information now that you accumulated over the years just making all these videos. You know the ins and outs from the performance aspect to the production aspect. When is Jennifer Lopez gonna start directing her own videos? When is that happening? I see that. I feel that. Something's in the
People ask
air.
me if I want to direct all the time, like even films and stuff like that. I think it would be easier, and this may sound crazy, to do a film than a video. Because a video needs a real specific, like you need real artistic vision, like, you know, to do something different and interesting, especially in this day and age of music videos, where everything is about the look of it and the colors and the ideas and how innovative you can be. I don't know if I could do that. I think the video directors these days are very talented and they come up with a lot of stuff, and I just don't know if I have that type. I could come up with an idea, but I don't know if I could exactly execute it the way that it would have to be for me to be satisfied. A movie would be different. It's more about real life, and it's not about lasers and this and effects and all that. That's a whole different world.
Now, the thing about I'm Real, you have the remix. The original version is nothing like this, right?
No. It's nothing like that.
Nothing like this.
No, but they're two totally different songs. And Dave Myers did both videos. This, for me, really set off a trend and look in videos.
Explain that. What do you mean by that?
I mean, just the quality of the way he shot Ja and myself, just the glossiness of it, the skin quality and everything. I think people are still trying to copy that
capture
look.
that, yeah.
But it was just a magic moment, the way the sun was at that time, and the way that the DP lit it, and the makeup. And people don't get credit enough for that, because that stuff really matters in a video, because I think people connect to those things. As simple as it was, as quick as we shot it, it became the look for a little while. All of a sudden, everything was like all the colors were about popping, and the skin was about being real shiny. Girls were putting baby oil on.
Yeah, it was a lot of biting, basically, from this.
No, not biting, but it's nice. You know
can't
what I mean?
say that.
No, I don't want. But it did have like a certain look, like even the way the floor looks and the shininess and the way Ja looks, the car.
And you take notice to all of this. See that?
It's important. I mean, just that shot right there.
One thing I noticed too about this video, and I don't know who does the casting for your videos, but you always have the finest, most beautiful extras in your videos.
I would think Dave Myers has something to do with that.
Do you have anything about, like, in terms of pick, like this girl right here? I mean, do you have anything to do with picking the girls? Yeah.
For me, I just always wanted to be the best video. I like having beautiful women on. For me, it doesn't, I'm not one of those artists that's like, no, it can't be nobody prettier than me in the video. That's so stupid, you know what I mean? For me, I just want it to be authentic and real all the time. Basically, I just wanted them to fit in with the neighborhood, and that's all that mattered to me. This was me living out a lifelong dream of working with the famous Herberts.
Now, what is this effect? What is this called?
It's a sepia tone, black and white, but with a tint to it. So it has more of a brownish sepia tint to it, and that's what it's called, sepia tone.
The concept of this video?
The concept of this video is, what the song is about is Ain't It Funny That This Happens, about fate and choices, and basically that's why the video opens. I'm walking down a road and it's a fork in the road, and it's like, am I gonna go this way or am I gonna go that way? And what's gonna happen? And she decides to go this way, and then she runs into this fortune teller, and then she stays there with those girls, and all of a sudden her life has just changed. And that was the idea, and it was actually Herbert's idea. After he heard the record, he was like, this is really about fate. Let's make a video about that.
This was a beautiful picture. This guy got a lot of notoriety from this video.
Fine.
Yeah, a lot of ladies liked him.
He wasn't bad. You know, that's one of the things with Herbert's too, his casting. He was like, who are we gonna cast for the guy? The guy's gotta be incredible. And my girlfriend at the time who worked with me was like, there's this guy, Eduardo Verastegui. He's a Spanish actor, and we have to get him. He's the most gorgeous guy out. And he wasn't bad.
When you watch your videos, do you watch as a fan, or you remember everything that went on behind the scenes to make them?
I try to remove myself to see how I feel, you know, about it as just something separate from something I did. This was actually one of the videos, probably the only video, since If You Had My Love, that I didn't go into I went into the editing room one day, and I saw it, and it was perfect.
You were happy with it?
I was like, this is gorgeous. Goodbye.
The video Alive now. You don't shoot videos for ballads a lot, right?
No, this was very special. It was for the movie that I had just starred in enough. Very rarely do I come out of a movie and like have a song for the movie. And this one, I really did. There was a little melody that my husband at the time, Chris, was playing, and I just came up with this song. The experience of doing the movie Enough was so impactful for me as a character. Like, it really, some real things happened to me on that movie that it was expressed through this song. So when I went to do it, I spoke to the director and was like, I really want people to see that this song came out of this movie.
Who was the director in this video?
Jim Gable.
Jim Gable.
Yes,
I've heard that name.
Today.
Yeah.
He's our director today.
When you studied for this movie, did you actually have to speak to women who are in abusive relationships and hear their experiences, or did you?
Absolutely. I mean, this movie was about being in abusive relationships, and I've been in relationships, not where I've been physically abused, but I have felt abused in different ways, emotionally, psychologically, and I think at the end of the day, when you come through those experiences, and you can come through them, which was the message of the movie and the message of this song, you can just be happy to have survived it and be stronger and just be alive. And that is the most important thing, that you have another day, another chance. I'm sorry it wasn't something that more people got to hear, because it really was a special thing. I did get to sing it on Oprah. Which was fabulous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one lady, and then sometimes that's all it takes, one lady in the audience to stand up and say, that song makes a difference in my life. And she stood up and she said it after I sang, and she's like, I love it. I play it every day. And
that was gratifying enough right there, right?
That's why we do what we do.
Murder Inc.
Now, when you make a remix,
Yes.
they seem like two totally different things. And
It is.
It's so peculiar, because you could watch both videos and not know one is a remix of
Right,
the original
unless
song.
if you just know the titles to the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of the idea. You know what I mean? Is
Okay.
to get the most mileage out of a record. Do a song and then really, really remix it and do something totally different with it. you
Yeah,
know?
because this is the same title, Ain't It Funny? With Ja Rule smacking ass, basically. you know, the whole Murder Inc. vibe, and even your energy is totally different,
yeah.
from the original.
Right. I go with the feel of the music. This song was totally different, but it was still about the same thing. Ain't it funny? Ain't it funny that you wanted this, and now fate has brought us to the point where I don't want you no more? You know what I mean?
You know, people thought you were talking about
Puppy
this
again.
one,
I know.
you know.
Every song I ever did, they thought I was talking about Puppy.
Yeah, you look real ghetto on this one too. Ghetto,
Love it.
Ghetto fab.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. A little flossy.
Yeah, a little flossy. The uniqueness about you is you have that cross-the-board appeal now, where you make records that people on the block, in the hood, would play in their cars.
Right.
And then you could go over to Europe to some ritzy club, exclusive club that only so many people can get in.
Right.
And you hear your songs in that club as well. You think it has to do with the fact that your videos are so diverse and that you...
I think it has a lot to do with the videos and people, you know, seeing how you fit into, like, how real everything is for you. Because like you said, you can put somebody in that setting and they're not comfortable with it. These two videos are really perfect because this is very me, kind of like urban and Latin and just a regular girl. And then the other one, Ain't It Funny, is more of like a musical type vibe, somebody who like acts and sings, and it's just a totally different person almost. And you could see me comfortable in both places because it's really who I am. I really am comfortable doing both things. They can feel when you're uncomfortable in your own skin. Like, oh, somebody told her this was a good idea. And then it just doesn't work.
You had a lot of attitude in this video too.
Yeah.
The little head, the little fake, you know.
I have to tell you where I got this from though.
Where you get it from?
This right here, Bah! That I got from Low Down Dirty Shame. It was a movie with Keenan Ivory Wayans and Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
Right? And Jada Pinkett was hysterical in that movie. And basically, she had this one thing where she just was talking to Sally Richardson and kicked her out. And when she went to kick her out, she like kicked her legs up and kicked right behind her. And it was so funny, I never forgot it. And when I did this video, I was like, oh, I get to have my little Jada Pinkett moment right here. And I closed the door and kicked it. It's like, you out, that's it, you're finished, you know? Puffy himself thought for a minute that it was about him, even though we spoke on the phone and I told him it wasn't. He went and did his own song. We're talking about my baby, I can breathe again. Go ahead, Ma, breathe again, Ma, breathe again. And then he did the little kick in the video.
Trying to be funny, okay.
Trying to be funny with his, you know what I mean? So
Well, yeah,
it made an impact, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Did you shoot this in Spanish Harlem?
Yeah.
If you've never been to Spanish Harlem, watch this video. You've been to Spanish Harlem.
You've been to Spanish Harlem. It's called I'm Gonna Be Alright, and Nas was on the track, and I just wanted to do something that took us straight back to Spanish Harlem. I had seen a layout in a Sports Illustrated, and they had one girl sitting like in a beach chair in front of a gate out on the street just tanning, and she had the big boom box next to her and the Puerto Rican flag. I was like, that's the video. From there, we got all the other you know, I was like, I have to have rollers at the laundromat with the
You look real ghetto right there.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's fly. It's fly ghetto style. And then the rest, it was all kind of inspired by Taxi Driver, the movie. For like the performance part of the video where me and Nas would perform together. And I did like the Jodie Foster with the big hat and the shorts and the flower and the big bag and everything and the platform shoes. And he did like the very militant with the green. He was like, didn't get it. He was like, I don't understand. You know, he just wanted to wear a jersey and everything. And I showed him, I was like, this is Robert De Niro.
When you said Robert De Niro, he was like, oh, word.
He got it.
Yeah, he got that, right?
I was like, this movie, and he watched it or whatever, and he was like, okay, I get it. And he went with it, and it was really cool.
What was it like working with him? I mean,
he was amazing. Well, first of all, he's always been one of my favorite. One of my favorites, if not my very favorite. And I've said that many times in many interviews. To me, he's just the most intelligent, most insightful, knows so much about his own history, his background. He's very inspirational, I think. I love a smart guy. I love an intelligent person who can really bring something more to the music. And I love the way he sounds, his flow, his whole thing. He's just a full package.
I don't work with too many artists, and I don't, you know, usually I don't think I'm really good at remixes and stuff because not my thing, but you know what I'm saying? She called and I said, you know, I was real happy about that, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's love. I got big love for J-Lo, word up. J-Lo is one of the artists that, you know, is driving the world crazy because she could deal with all different worlds and bring all different worlds together to deal with her, listen to her, you know what I'm saying, and get into her vibe. So she brought the street element, you know, put that on top of the track masters, brought me in. And there you go.
Is it important to you to like bring the world into your culture through your videos? Because you do that a lot. You know?
It's just, again, it's just who you are. It's what makes you happy. Like you remember things and it just makes you feel good. And that's who I am. Like the guys playing dominoes on the street and all that, I remember that. And I remember the bodegas and going to the store and the guys hanging out in the street and that life and that vitality. Again, when you can capture that, it has such a grittiness to it, but such a realness to it, people can connect to it because they go, that's where I live. That's what I am. That's what I do. At the beginning of this video, I had to have that horn. If you've ever been in any Spanish neighborhood, in the ghetto. You'll hear in New York, you'll hear that la cucaracha.
Yeah, la cucaracha.
I was like, that has to be at the top of the video before the song starts.
And you hear it all times of the day.
You're like, what is that? When you're growing up, you're like, what is that? And you realize that it's a car horn that some fool has on their car.
Well, you know, I was thinking the ad-lib. Yes, I did. You know, you know. Unless you, what? No?
What is Dave doing right now?
I was doing you.
No, this is not me. I will not be doing that.
Well, you'll do a better version of that, you know.
Back in the day, you know, I had my softball moments. I never played stickball. That was for boys, you know, and they were really hard to get with the bat. I mean, the only reason they gave me the bat is because it was my video. Let's be honest, but I did play, you know, baseball and softball when I was younger, and I do enjoy it. So I had a little, you know, I think people were surprised that you can do anything when you're a girl. So yeah, I actually knew what I was doing.
Puerto Rico.
It's just like playing stickball in the street, going to the laundromat before Saturday night, hanging out with your girls on the sidewalk. You don't want to drive. You don't want to take the train to Jones Beach or the Orchard, so you just sit out and get a tan with a soda, and that's how life was.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
Jenny from the block. I remember the first time I saw this video. We were in the studio with Corey Rooney.
Yes.
And it wasn't the final cut. It was just before the final cut, and you showed it to me, and there was a few shots you went to get out. You said it was too many butt shots.
Right.
Remember that? You know, and I was looking at this video, and I felt like, wow, this is real life. You got Ben in the video. You know, it seemed like to me that you was talking to the media like, man, everything I do, you guys got me on a platform.
Yeah.
Francis.
I mean, was that the concept behind this video?
That was definitely the concept. I mean, Francis Lawrence, again, the same guy who did my favorite video, Waiting for Tonight, came up with this idea. Actually, I was shooting a photo shoot somewhere, and he walked in and he worked downstairs, and he was like, Jen, I had this idea.
I had thought of this idea quite a long time ago about doing a video sort of centered around paparazzi spy camera footage. And when I was talking to her, it sort of clicked in my head that it would be perfect for her, and really only for somebody like her, because her life is so in the eye of the paparazzi and the public.
He wanted to kind of show like a voyeuristic, again, like people kind of mistaking basically all these other things for something else. How everything's so mistaken in the media. I told Ben about it, and we had to have a guy in the video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was a guy written into the treatment, and he was like, this is really clever. Can we get a bottle of Cristal, please? Because it's like kind of us making fun of the fact that there is all this attention on us. It is kind of silly. We are kind of like, why? You know what I mean? And then on top of it, the fact that we kind of turn the cameras around on them in the video. I mean, there was so much ironic things to this video, like while we were shooting the video, the paparazzi actually being on the set shooting us, shooting the video about the paparazzi. You know what I mean?
Crazy, right?
It's like all these multi-layered things. So it was just a very, very clever idea that Francis had. And when Ben read it, being an artist and being a writer, he was like, this is really smart. I'll do this if you want me to do it. I was like, you don't have to do this. And he was like, no, I want to do it.
That's
I
cool.
want to, it's perfect for right now.
To make it look like we're spying on her, the image can't be that clear and that clean. And so what we're doing is shooting with extremely long telephoto lenses. And what happens is what degrades the image is the atmosphere between the camera and the subject, as well as we hang branches or we put fake fences up or we shoot through car windows to sort of obscure. Otherwise, if it was too clean, it would just look like we're shooting her normally, and it wouldn't quite have the voyeuristic feel that we're looking for.
Even those shots right there with the paparazzi, that's real paparazzi. That was just on the set that day.
Taking pictures of
just
you guys.
taking pictures of us.
Fell into line.
We're letting them get the picture. They just fell right into our little trap.
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing in the winter around Christmas time is to break up. And that's why I decided to do this video. Like, you don't want to be broke up around the holidays.
Yeah, that's when you're at your coldest, right?
Yeah, it's just not fun.
It's sad if you break up in the holidays.
This song is about that. Her basically saying, you know, I'm leaving. You know, he's like, come on, don't leave. swallow your pride, you know, give me one more chance. And I just was like, you know what? The worst time to break up is in the winter time when it's snowing outside and Christmas is about to come and you're thinking everything's gonna be great, and then you have a breakup. It's the worst.
Nagging in your
It's the
heart.
worst.
You ever had that? You broken up and going to winter
I
time?
think I have had like problems around Christmas time, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where you're just like, oh, this is horrible, this is the worst Christmas ever. And I just wanted to capture that in this video.
So how many times did LL lick his lips during the shooting of the video?
A lot, and I enjoyed it every single time.
Every licking?
Every licking was fine for me.
Okay. What was he like to work with?
He was great. Sitting down and working with him, you say to yourself, why has this artist been around so long? Why is he so respected? Why has he had so many years and endured for so long? And you know right away, because they're professional, they're talented, they have no ego. They just love what they do, and they're happy that they can do it every single day. And they're special artists like that, and he's one of those people. This is good when we got to fight in the video. It was fun.
Well, both you guys are acting a lot.
That's
you
what
know.
made it good. It was
Yeah.
like, we know we could do this video. After this, we were like, we should do a movie together.
You're an actress, and you're so dramatic in your videos, man.
I do
like you
bring
go-
my acting into my videos.
Yeah, it's like you
I'm
go
a
for-
performer.
Okay. Does one help the other? The video acting help?
Absolutely. Because I'm an actress, I'm able to bring a lot more to my videos. I like being dramatic. I like bringing it all to life in a crazy, kind of over-the-top way, and letting people feel the joy or the pain or the sadness. The director was like, she's really crying over there.
You're trying to get an Oscar for the videos, right?
I'm not trying to get an Oscar for it, but I know that people will feel it more
Uh-huh.
if I really commit to it. Walking down the street, heartbroken, carrying my teddy bear and my coffee pot, and that I would really be crying. And so, you know, the actress in me, I'm able to do that. I think it's probably the part of the video that makes the whole video work. It's that last shot of me with the red nose, really, really crying in the street, taking that last breath like, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be
Living
all right.
that moment like it's actually
like I'm gonna be all
happening.
right. You know what I mean? And I think people really felt that video for that reason. They also felt like, oh, I feel her.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there. I know that. You know, so it matters. I think the acting in the videos just makes them better.
Slates are in, and playback.
You look exactly like the girl who played in the movie Flashdance.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah. What made you decide to go this route? I'm
Okay, this was the thing. I had done Jenny from the Block on this album. This is me then. We had done the LL Cool J, right? And I had just thought for a long time that I hadn't danced in a video. I was like, who could do an interesting video for me that could have dance? David LaChapelle. He's really stretching his boundaries right now and doing different things. So I called him up. And I was like, David LaChapelle, how you doing? And he was like, I'm good, how are you? And I was like, look, I'm about to do a video. The only parameters I have is that I want to dance in it. I want to dance by myself. I want to just dance. I want nothing, the crutch or the backup dancer. I want none of that. I just want to dance by myself. And he's like, okay, give me a few days to think about it. I sent him the track, I'm glad. And he was like, okay, how do you feel about Flashdance? And I said, what do you mean? So I thought he meant like, let's do an updated version of Flashdance. I went out, I rented the movie, I looked at it, I was like, this is a hot movie. So I called him back and I was like, okay, let's do it. I was like, so how are you gonna update it? And he's like, I'm not. We're gonna do it exactly like the movie, down to the last detail.
Stripper, steel mill worker, and prima ballerina. And a nice girl with a lot of innocence. Can't beat that. Can't beat that story.
And I was like, okay. He's like, but you could do your own choreography. This is the same room that they shot the original movie in. You watch the movie now, it doesn't have the same choreography, but it's the same setup, her auditioning. This is the same outfit from the movie. We were gonna do other outfits to update it or make it more modern, but at the end of the day, when something works the way it is, you don't wanna, mess with it. Just leave it the way it is. It's original kind of splendor. So I love the idea of doing the Flashdance thing too, because it was about dreams. Just somebody who's just like going for theirs and doing the best they can, and at crunch moment you gotta come through. That's the girl with the dream, and I love that. I just love that whole idea, and so we decided to do this video. I'm an actor, so I like to give off-camera motivation for the actors that are on camera.
I'm always extra critical when people try to, redo things that have already been done. But
Yeah.
you did it with taste.
If you try to do videos that are inspired by movies and you want to do it, but you don't do it all the way, and it becomes like this mishmash of like nothing. And this was great because it actually was so close to the movie that it just became like an homage to the movie as opposed to like, what was that, Well, it's kind of Flashdance. She threw water on herself, but you know what I mean?
Right.
You really have to commit to concepts. You can't go, oh, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna be in the hood, in the street, by my lowrider, really like with my chain. It just doesn't work together.
No consistency,
No.
continuity. Yeah. You gotta be really confident to pull off some of
I
those
know, let me
outfits
tell
right
you,
there, right?
the red teddy moment, which is what we called it.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay.
That was the one from the movie. We went into the old costume houses and found Flashdance section.
Oh, wow.
And there was 3 of these little red teddies. One for Jennifer Beals, one for the double who did the dancing in the movie. And like they had a couple of them. And we took the real one. It was a scary moment for me as a woman.
I'm sure when I watched the video,
But
I
let me
was
tell
like, wow.
you, I was working out like a maniac before this video and dancing my ass off, literally and figuratively.
Now, also, I noticed everything wiggles and jiggles naturally. So you guys didn't do the special effect on it.
No, I was really, like I said, I worked out really hard and I danced really hard before this video. And I knew I was going to be in these little outfits because that's what the movie was. And Dave wanted it to be just like the movie. So I was like, Dave, I gotta wear that red teddy. He's like, you have to wear the red teddy. So I really worked out and did the dye thing and everything. And then after the video, there's always that one guy who's like, we should retouch this. I was like, you're gonna leave everything exactly the way it is.
Okay.
That's how it wiggles and jiggles in real life, and that's how they're gonna see it in the video. And I noticed they sent it to me and they had like shaved off a little bit of my hips and so, and I was like, that ain't my, those are not my hips.
Okay.
Don't just leave them the way they are. Do me a favor. Don't touch my hips. Don't try to make me look skinnier. It's fine. It's fine the way it is. And that's what they did. They left it.
You're dancing so hard throughout this whole video.
Oh God, we killed ourselves.
How many injuries did you suffer from?
I still have scars from this video. I'm proud of this video because it was really, really hard to execute. It was tough to do. Shooting this, you could see how many angles we shot it from. That's a different shot, that's a different shot, that's a different shot, So I did this 5 million times. I mean, literally, they had to stop production for a day because I hurt my neck doing the maniac scene. It went out. That was it. Story over. I had to recuperate so I could come back and finish the last day of shooting, which is, again, it was like 3-4 full days of dancing.
Do you get to keep the costumes after the video?
I do keep a few things because, people always call you and ask you to donate something or sign something, and I always like to use the stuff from the videos because it's something they've seen. And
was that your hair or was that a wig?
A lot of it was my hair.
Okay.
My hair is really curly.
Okay, all right, because I was...
My natural hair is like really curly. Let me see.
Like
this
right
is
there.
probably the most natural... This is closest to where I really look when I wake up in the morning.
Oh, okay. So this is how Jennifer really looks when she wakes up in the morning. I know a lot of guys.
No, because
like,
my
what?
hair is like naturally curly. I have Spanish curly hair.
Okay.
What we did add was a bang. Because in the 80s movie, she had like a bang. So I had like a top piece on. Because that's more the 80s style. And my hair is not cut like that.
Baby, when I think about
Now, the song, the lyrical content is actually like a love song, right?
Yeah, I actually wrote it about a guy, but in this video, it became more about just being happy with who you were. And like I said, being a girl with a dream and being glad and satisfied with what's happening to you because of your relationship or your life or whatever. How did I get painted like this? Who am I?
So would you say this is the most taxing video that you ever shot?
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Absolutely, without
I'm
a
glad
doubt.
wins.
I'm glad wins.
Okay.
It better win.
Okay. Let's talk about Baby, I Love You.
Baby, I love you.
I remember the first time I heard the song, we were actually in the studio and you let me hear your album before it was released. And that was like one of my favorite songs on the album. And now you made this video for it.
Yes, it's a little bit different for me because it's so pared down, you know?
Yeah.
It was really a simple video to shoot. We just basically had a camera and me and singing this song, which I like. You know, I've never done anything like that. It's really just about the emotion of the song and the words, and it's my favorite song as well on the album. So just to sing the words of it for me was so fun. Was such a great day.
You know, and you're really raw.
Very
like you
raw.
said, were you scared of that though? You know, a lot of times artists don't want to be seen just stripped down and raw.
I know, even the lighting is very kind of washed out. The whole thing has a washed out quality, but what I liked about that is, like you said, it gives an element of light and sunshine, and that was the idea for the video, just to let it all wash out and just let the emotion of the song come through.